Hi everyone, Sully here from Black Ops Toys, and
Jennifer.
we are doing this totally unscripted. We just wanted totally unscripted. We just wanted to reach out and tell you guys that, guys and gals, that we buy collections. We buy 1/6 scale mostly. We do buy some 1/12 scale occasionally. If it's something super cool and really collectible and unique, we'll look at something. No.
So, what was the first collection you remember buying? Us together, I mean.
You tell me.
I remember the guy in California, and weren't we down there anyway for like Frank and Sons? We had a booth there.
Yes.
And he had a garage full of stuff, and he'd had a kid, and his wife didn't want him to have his collection anymore. He had the vehicles, he had a bunch of old school stuff. He had like diorama sets, I think some of which are out in the hallway right now in a bin from the flood still.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even remember how much we paid him. I just remember feeling very sad for him because as he watched his collection leave the garage, he was a little bummed that he had to sell it, but he, I guess, felt like he had to sell it.
Oh, Jason Payne.
Yeah.
I do remember.
So now that you remember.
So essentially I had all of those red Tupperware things. So first collection, it was a lot of loose stuff. There was a lot of mint in box. It included like old school Toy Soldier, Ace, old school Dragon, DVI.
Yeah.
But I remember this guy had, I'm not even kidding when I say like 20 little storage bins for nuts and bolts. And each storage bin was labeled, and like you could have a whole storage bin of nothing but scopes. And so there was like 1,000 scopes in this little storage bin. Now times that by 20, and we have one for radios, we have one for helmets, we have one for pistols, one for knives, and it just got exponentially bigger. But that was a big deal
collection
for us because it involved that type of collection, especially a loose collection, involves a lot more labor, a lot more time, energy, and effort to list that stuff online. If we take in a collection where we've had stuff before, it's easier for us to load it. But that collection was a huge deal for me, and I want to say it was like $5,000.
Yeah.
And back then, and this was like 25 years ago.
No.
20 years ago.
No, because it was around 2009 or 10 because we had the booth at Frank and Son, so it was about 2010.
Okay, whatever. It was
so
a long time
14
ago.
years ago.
It was a long time ago.
You're so funny with time.
But I had to sell this to her. Like, you just gotta trust me. You just gotta do it.
He did.
And we pulled, we pulled money out of savings. We were stretched super thin.
Yeah, but we still have red little bin containers.
We do still have the red little bin containers.
You reused them for other things, but we still have them around.
Yeah. That was a good collection.
That was good.
Yeah.
What's one that you remember the most?
There's so many, but one of them that I enjoyed the most was somebody who had all of the Sideshow G.I. Joe figures. Like, I think every single release. And I got that collection off of him. And that was a huge deal for me because it was during 2020 and everything had skyrocketed in price because we just couldn't get any inventory. And the secondary market was just jumping through the roof. And I managed to get a whole collection of all the G.I. Joe figures from Sideshow. And that was a huge deal for me because I hadn't owned any of those. Any of the exclusives. So I got everything in one lot and they were all mint in box. And he gave me a drawing of a G.I. Joe character, I want to say Airtight, which was super cool. But anyway, a very cool experience for me was to be able to buy stuff that I know is super unique that I've never owned before, even just to touch it, do a video on it, and then it goes to the next collector who wants to love it. But
have you sold all the G.I. Joes? Or do you still have
most
some?
of them. We sold almost all the G.I. Joes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there still is some. I think we have like 6 or 7 left. But
okay.
Yeah, that was a cool collection.
Cool. So what is the overall reason for this video? So,
that's a good question. I think the reason for this video is I want people to know that we do buy this stuff. We do buy collections, and I love 1/6 scale. That's my jam. And I want you to know that if you do sell us your collection will go to other people who are going to love on it just like you did. So I think that's important for collectors to know, that you may be giving this up, but it's going to go to somebody who cares about it just as much as you did.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. No, I like that. Because when I take things to Goodwill, like one time I took a bunch of dishes to Goodwill,
Right.
and the guy picked them up and I said, careful, they're fragile. And then I heard him inside basically dump the box and everything broke.
Yeah.
I was really bummed.
Bummed.
Well, and now I don't take dishes and stuff like that to Goodwill.
Right.
I try to give them away on the Buy Nothing group or something locally, because I don't want them to get broken. I want them to be taken care of. I want them to go to somebody who's going to love them.
I also want people to know that sometimes we get rid of the stuff that we love for certain reasons. A lot of times the reason is not a good reason. Meaning like it's financial difficulty, stuff like that. I also want people to know that I have been in places where I have had to sell my collections. And I say that multiple times over.
Yeah.
So financial difficulties, they suck. And luckily I had something that I could turn into money. And I've had to sell multiple collections multiple times to keep the business running. So I've been in that position. And I also want people to know that if you're just moving on and it's not, basically you get married, you got kids, you need to start a college fund, whatever, we'll take stuff like that in, and somebody who is going to really appreciate it is going to get it. So that's really cool.
Yeah. So you just bought a collection this last weekend.
I did.
83?
94 figures.
94, mostly hot toys, right?
Mostly
Sideshow.
hot toys, a couple sideshow, but mostly hot toys.
Yeah. We bought, and that was local, so you just drove in the car.
Yep.
Last summer, there was this kid who, I have no idea, he must have worked hard, but man, did he have a lot of sideshow and hot toys things and some other ones. Remember, we went to that house and he had a bunch of them in his room and you put them all in the boxes, and he had all the boxes in a garage. But that was also a local one too.
That was a local one. So here's something also. If you buy collections, you always want to make sure that you don't confirm a price until you check the merchandise, because that particular one you're talking about, he had all these figures, but they had been in a detop, and the detop was open, and there was just caked in dust, and a lot of the pleather items were disintegrated.
What's a detop?
Like cabinet, display cabinet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Detop
I've never
shop.
heard detop.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you buy collections.
We
like
buy
to buy
collections.
collections.
Yes.
Why right now are collections important for us to find and buy?
Right now?
Yeah.
They're important because I'm in a collectible business and a collectible hobby. So I like to be the guy that people go to when they want something or when they can't find something. And I have a very long customer list, and I work off of that, and I just enjoy the whole transaction thing.
Right.
Yeah, we want to make sure that 1/6 scale, especially the military stuff, stays relevant.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of companies that produce it. There's not a lot of companies that deal with it. This is a niche hobby, which means most of the world doesn't know about it. And because everything has 1/6 scale firearms, these are realistic. And when you look at them on camera, they look like the real thing. So it's basically the whole industry has been stamped down by
Social media.
social
mostly.
media. Yeah.
Instagram is the
Instagram,
huge culprit.
TikTok, YouTube. We've been hit on
Facebook.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing right now is X.
X.
And that's something that we're gonna try to build the audience there. But
Yeah. Twitter.com/BlackOpsToys.
yeah,
We do post a lot of stuff there. It's slow growing, but compared to other places like Instagram and Facebook where, it's rough out there. It's a rough world in social media. I think we've had a video about that before. About how
Several.
rough social media is. Okay,
Yeah.
so this video is about how much you like buying collections and an appeal to anybody out there who has
thinking
a
about
collection.
selling it. Yeah.
Thinking about selling it, wondering if it would be worth listing them individually on eBay, which it could be, but if
It's so And I've had this question quite a bit. How do you offload a collection, right? That's hard to do. And what I mean by that is, unless you want to take the time that it takes to list the products and deal with every customer that purchases from you, that's a huge time suck.
Yeah.
We happen to do it professionally.
Yeah.
But that's where we have the edge, because our audience is looking for this stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're a collector who wants to get the most money for your product, sell it individually.
Yeah.
And
On eBay
is probably your best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you
don't want to deal with the headache
of all of that,
then you would sell like a company to me.
Yeah. Contact
this guy.
Yeah, because he loves it.
DM us.
I don't love it quite as much when the big money goes out.
No.
But
yeah.
but he does love it.
Yep.
So, a couple of things to say at the very end. We are both wearing glasses, which I don't think in the last video or any videos we've worn glasses. So that says something about how the months and years are trickling by. Mm-hmm. And you had ear surgery, so you can't hear me on this side.
I had ear surgery, so I had my eardrum rebuilt.
Yep. And yeah.
So this is still packed, so I can't hear anything out of here.
So you can't hear.
Then I've lost most of my hearing on my right ear. I had the same surgery that I had over here last year over here, and that failed. So this year's down to about, I would say, 90% hearing loss, unless I have a hearing aid, which I'm wearing here. But
yeah.
They did put a tube in this ear when they did this ear, so I was kind of like this for a little while.
Yeah, but you're good. And I had no surgery. So yeah, I had to redo my Face ID on my Apple phone. It was that. I mean, I can't really tell anymore, but maybe I've just gotten used to it. Yeah. So glasses, ear, nose.
Ear, nose.
Since our last Black Ops Toys story type video.
Yeah.
All right. So this will be on YouTube in our podcast.
And on X.
Okay, and on X, in our podcast section as well, and we still don't know how that works, and our Black Ops Toys story videos.
Yes.
Yeah, so we buy collections. If you've got one, you want to sell it, contact him.
This guy.
All right.
And then I'll call her and say,
can I buy this?
Can I buy this?
Pretty much. Pretty much. So
you're not the boss of me. I'm just kidding. All right.
Okay.
Cheers.
So if you like this video, right?
Yeah. And you want to sell your collection, or you love 1/6 scale in general, then thanks for watching, and we appreciate it a lot.
Ring the bell, subscribe, share, do all the things. Thanks for watching.